Hello and welcome to the Z-Hut. Today I would like to show you how you can send text from an Android device to an LCD screen connected to an Arduino. So what we'll do first is I'll show you how to build the app in MIT App Inventor. Then we'll take a look at putting the code together for the Arduino, and then finally I'll demonstrate everything working. So of course first we need to open up our MIT App Inventor and start a new project. Now for this we're going to be using a Bluetooth device to receive the text being sent. So we need to first go down to connectivity, and we need a Bluetooth client. Just drag that in there. Alright, now next we are going to need a list picker to connect to our Bluetooth. So we'll drag a list picker in up here. Before I forget, I'm going to make a screen so everything is centered. You can set it up any way you would like. Now for the list picker, you can put a picture in there, like a picture of the Bluetooth symbol, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to do a basic button, and we'll put some text in there. And we'll just set it to say connect. So when we push this, it'll bring up our list of Bluetooth devices we can connect to, and that's how we're going to connect to the Arduino. So now next, we are going to need a text box. So we'll drag a text box in here, and we are also going to need a button, and I'm going to take and put a label between the two to act as a spacer, and for the height I think 30 pixels ought to be good, and the width we'll just set to fill here, and it's going to be invisible so you ain't going to see it anyway, and then we'll just delete that text. Alright, now for our button, we're going to give that some text, and we'll just put in send. Now you can add colors to the button, change the color of the text, and change the shape of it. Let's just make it a rounded button, and we'll leave the font size alone. We'll just leave the height and width automatic for this tutorial. You can do anything you want with this. You can even add an image, so the button would be a picture of something. Alright, we got everything we need here in the designer, so let's go over to the blocks. Alright, so first we need to set this up so we can connect. So we need to pull in a list picker after picking and a list picker for picking. Then go under list picker, and we want to set the elements to. Go to our Bluetooth here, and we want Bluetooth client address and names. That's that one right there. So what this does is when you push the list picker, the connect button, it brings up a list of your Bluetooth addresses to connect to. So what you do is you select which Bluetooth device is connected to your Arduino, and then we go to this step, the after picking. So we go back to the list picker, and we want set list picker selection. You find it here, yep. Set list picker selection 2. Then we go under Bluetooth, and where is that? Right here, the connect to address. Drop that in, and then back to the list picker once again, and we want list picker selection, and that's right there. Well, that's all we need to connect to the Bluetooth. But I'm going to take this one little step further, and I'm going to show you how to make the connect button disappear once you've connected, because there's no point in having it on the screen. This is optional. You don't have to do it. So we want an if-then statement. We'll put this right there. Go under Bluetooth. If Bluetooth is connected, and let's see, where is that at? Bluetooth client 1 is connected. So if it's connected, we are going to take our list picker and we want to set visibility. And then we need a logic, and we want a false. So once we connect to the Bluetooth, what will happen is this button will just disappear, and it's not on the screen anymore. And you can have a disconnect button too if you wanted, and then have that set when it's pushed. It'll bring this, make this visible again. You can also set the button and the spacer and the text box to not visible in the designer, and then have it after you click here and select to turn it visible. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to do this, and I think you understand what I'm saying. Alright, so next we need our button, and this is the button you click after you put your text in the text box, and this will send it. So what we simply do is when the button is clicked, go to our Bluetooth client, we want to send text, and then we want our text box text right there. Well, that's all there is to it. Now I'm using a 16 character by 2 line, and the way I have it set up is just printing everything on the LCD screen on the first line. You could also have a second text box in there for line number 2, and then just simply have under here when it's clicked, it's called Bluetooth send text box 1, and then just duplicate this and have it send text box 2. Alright, well, that's all there is in the MIT App Inventor. And we just we got our list picker to connect, our text box, a spacer to put a space between the send button and the text box, and then we got our send button. Okay, well, let's switch over to the Arduino IDE, and I'll show you the sketch for this project. See you there in just a moment. Okay, we got our Arduino IDE opened up here. So let's go ahead and put the code in. And also I will have this code available on the website if you'd just like to copy it and paste it in your Arduino IDE. And you can find a link to the website in the description below. And I also have a schematic for the circuit we're using with the Arduino. And I'll even have the app on there if you don't want to make it in MIT, you just want to try this out first. I'll have that app available on there to download as well. Alright, so first, now I am using an I2C LCD screen, and I do suggest using an I2C LCD screen. You can use the regular one, but you got to use more wires, and you'll also require, I do believe it's a different library as well, but for setting this LCD screen up, the I2C one, I actually have another video just on that, how to connect it up and get started with it. So I'll have a link to that on the website as well. So first we are going to include our libraries, and I just simply have a screen opened up on the side here instead of typing all this in. We're including the wired.h, and that's for the I2C, and then we're doing the liquid crystal I2C library. And then we're defining the address for the LCD screen because we're using I2C. And like I said, I have a video, and there will be a link to that on the website, on how to find your address and put that in and get everything set up. So just check that out if you've never used the LCD screen with your Arduino before. Next, we need to put in a string for receiving the data. So we'll have a string, and we'll just simply call it data. That'll work. And that's all we need up there. Now we go into our void setup, and we need to start the serial. So let's serial dot begin. Oops. Serial dot begin, and we're gonna run 9600, which is very common baud rate to use. You can use other rates, it's up to you, but 9600 is more than fast enough for this. Definitely more than fast enough. So now next we need to initialize the LCD screen. So just paste that in there, and what we're doing is the LCD screen begin, and we're putting in, I'm using a 16 character by 2 line, and this is just initializing it so it knows, because this library will also work. There's a 20 character by 4 line, and that will work as well with this. And then what we're doing is we're just clearing the LCD screen, so if there's anything on it, it's just clearing it out. And that's all we need in the void setup. Let's go down to the loop. And we need to put in a while statement. And what this is doing, it's checking if serial available is equal to 0, which means there's nothing there to receive. It's just sticking in this while loop and not doing anything, because there's no point of printing anything to the screen if nothing's been received. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put in, what'll happen now is we're out of the while loop, so we're going to do a delay just to give it time in case it's detected it and it's still sending, so it's not writing only part of your data. And half a second will work. You could put a quarter second, 250. You could probably even get away with like 10. But just put a short delay there. Then what we're going to do is our data. That's our string. So what we got to do is we got to read the information from the serial to this. And what we're doing is serial serial dot read string. Don't forget to put those little parentheses in, and then our semicolon. So what this does is once it detects there's something in the serial coming in, it reads that and puts that string of characters into our data string. So now next we'll do is just just in case, you know, there's already data on there and you're sending a new string to it, some new text, so we want to clear the LCD screen and so we don't have characters left over in case the new text you're sending is shorter than the last text that was on there. It would still have some characters on, so what we need to do is we need to clear the LCD screen. So we just do lcd.clear. Then we go LCD dot set cursor, and we're just gonna start it at the very beginning, 0, and that's for what line. If you wanted to print it on line 2, you'd put a 1, but we're printing on line 1, so we put a 0. And then we're going to start it at 0, which is the beginning of the cursor. If you wanted to move it, you know, put like 1, 2, 3, it would start the text at that position on the LCD screen. But we're just going to put 0, 0. And then, of course, we need to print that string, our text, to the LCD screen. So we go lcd.print. And then we're going to print our data. And that's going to print our text to the LCD screen. Pretty simple, isn't it? Not a whole lot to the sketch. Real easy to do. Real easy. Okay, like I said, if you just want to copy this sketch and paste it in your Arduino IDE, you can find it on the website. And as well, I will have the app on the website as well if you just want to download the app instead of putting it together yourself. And just look in the description below. You'll find the link. So what we'll do next is we'll go over to the workbench, and I'll load the app up on my tablet, and I'll show you this working. So I'll see you there in just a moment. Okay, I've got the app uploaded to my Android device, and I have the Arduino sketch uploaded to the board. What we'll do here first is I'll show you this working, and then we'll go over the circuit real quick. So let's just open up the app, and then we got to connect. Choose our device. There we go, it's connected. Now what we just do is push on that, and then we can put in whatever text we want to send to the LCD. There we go. Then hit send. There we go. It showed up. Now we can put new text in. First we got to delete the old text. And I forgot to mention this in the when we were going over building the app. You can also do, after you send the text, you can have it delete everything in the text box. I forgot to show you that while we were on there. But that's just easy. You just clear the text box after you send, after the send button is pushed and it sends the text to the Arduino, then you can just clear that, and that's all there is to that. I forgot to show you that and don't have it on here, but that's an easy way to do that. Otherwise you just gotta, delete what you had in there before. Let's put something else in here. Having a little, there we go. And I'm trying to do this upside down because the camera is on that side and I'm over here, so I'm looking at this upside down. But you can see, there we go. I put Arduino in there and it came up. And we want to send different text, we'll just delete all that and put something else in there, hit send, comes up. This is super easy project to do. Now, for the circuit, what we have is our Arduino device board. And I'm using a Nano for this. You can use a Mega, Uno, LilyPad, anything. Any of the Arduinos will work with this, any of them. And then we also have our HC06, and you can use HC05. The HC05 is a slave and master, where the HC06 is just a slave. And I use the HC06s all the time because I don't need a master. So we also have a logic level converter. And I'll have a link in the description below about how to connect your HC06s and 5s to your Arduino, because they are 3.3 volt logic and the Arduino is 5 volt. So you need to use either, you got to use resistors to cut the voltage down, and you do that with a voltage divider, but a logic level converter is an easier and better way to go. and I suggest using them. And like I said, just look in the description below. I've got another video on how to hook these up. And this little logic level converter is like $1 if you only order one. And if you order multiples, you're going to get them even cheaper. And this is just a 2-channel, which works perfect with the HC06 or 05s. You can get these up 8-channel, 16-channel, if you're using multiple devices that use the 3.3 volt logic, and they're cheap. I recommend using these over the voltage dividers. It just works better. All the way around, it works better. So that's all there is to it. And hooking up to the LCD screen, you just got your power, your ground, your SDA, and your SCL. On the Nano, it's analog pin 4 and analog pin 5 that connect to the SDA and SCL. On your Uno, it's different. The Mega, I do believe, is different as well. Just check. You can go online and find what pins you got to connect to if you're using a different board. But for the Nano, it's the A4 and A5. And I've got Unos. I can't remember offhand which pins, but just check online. The information is readily available. So that's all there is to this. Hope you found this information useful. Really do. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Would appreciate it big time. Consider subscribing as well. I put videos up weekly. I'm trying to do daily, every day. Last week or two, I have been almost every day putting a video up, so consider subscribing. With that, we'll wrap this tutorial up, and I'd like to thank you for joining us here at Z Hut. I hope you have a great day and have fun building.